one of the state chairs for Vivek. And I can tell you all the reasons why I'm supporting Vivek. I can talk about his time writing Woke and taking on wokeism, ESG movement. I could talk about his time taking on Big Pharma. But the reality is, as I looked at the candidates and who I wanted to support, really wasn't about any of those issues. I think far too often we get caught up in policy, actually, and we're going to talk a lot about policy tonight. But for me, I want to know more about who the person is. Not so much about the policy, because here's the fact and the reality, folks. Having been in the inside of politics for a number of years, it's easy to poll. It's really easy to find out where people stand on issues and then cater your message to what people want to hear. I want to know who is the person. What guides them, right? We didn't know COVID was going to hit. We didn't know September 11th would happen. So what is it that guides our leaders in times where it's trying? And there's one that rises above all others, without a question. And the reason is because of this. And you see it over and over again. Vivek is the only candidate willing to speak the truth, unapologetically speak the truth, time and time again, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. And that's why I chose to support Vivek, because having been on the inside, I know without a doubt it requires someone coming from the outside to clean up the mess in Washington, D.C. You can only be an outsider one time. And that's what we need. We need a CEO who has been successful, who knows how to take on ESG movement, take on the left. In fact, I'll give Vivek credit. He's not even a politician, and he did something I was never able to accomplish in my 10 years. Any of you see that interview with Don Lemon? Yeah, Don Lemon's not around there anymore. So, look, he is willing to go where no one else will. We've been all across Iowa. We've gone into Iowa City. We've gone into Ames. We've gone into places where people said, there's no way you can win votes there. He's willing to speak the truth. And to his character, I have seen him address protesters. Not kick them out, not throw them out, but welcome them to the stage. Go outside of his event and welcome a protester to come in so their voice could be heard. But then, in return, his voice was going to be heard. That's what we need as a leader. So, folks, I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things tonight. First, pledge tonight that you will commit to Caucus. 30 minutes of your time. I look back at 1776 moment, 56 men mutually pledging their lives, their fortune, and their sacred honor. The reality is, some of them, most of them, did pledge their fortunes and their lives, but I don't think any of them gave up their honor. And all we have to do is give 30 minutes of our time to change the course of America. You see, it's not just about replacing Joe Biden. It's about having the right person replace Joe Biden. And that person is Vivek, without a doubt. The other thing I'll ask you guys to do is, how many of you, is this your first time hearing Vivek in person? Wow. Amazing. I want to ask another question. Be honest. How many of you have been polled? Have actually taken a poll? Okay. Hopefully the cameras caught that, right? Don't buy the media. Don't believe the mainstream media. I have been involved in presidential politics. In 2016, I was one of the state chairs for Ted Cruz. By the way, we won the Iowa Caucus in 2016. In 2012, we had a race between Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum. And you know what? Probably was about a group about this size, 34 votes 34 votes was the difference between first and second place in the entire state of Iowa. That section right there made the difference between first and second place. So every person in here has a role to play. Every single one of you. Whether it's posting to social media, whether it's making a phone call to a friend. For you 17, 18-year-olds, if you've got a son or a daughter who's a senior in high school, maybe even a junior, you're 17 right now, you're going to be 18 before November. This is the first time you can vote in the Iowa caucus because Iowa changed the law to allow 17-year-olds to vote in the caucus so long as they're going to be 18 by the general election. Make sure you get that message out. Talk to your friends. Everyone has a role to play. And I can tell you, my gut, my heart, my mind, having all the political knowledge that I have, and the experience I have, the polls are wrong. And with your help, I promise you, we are going to shock a whole lot of people come January 15th because I'm confident Vivek Ramaswamy can win the Iowa caucus. Guys, we don't elect just the president. His name, her name will be on the ballot, but the reality is we bring in an entire family. And we're so fortunate tonight to have Vivek's wife with us. She is a world-renowned spokesperson. She has an incredible story herself. And I've just been so blessed over these last few months to get to know Apoorva and Vivek and Karthik and Arjun. They're just a wonderful family. Someone that you and I can be proud of. I'll leave this with you. Oftentimes what you see on the stage when the cameras are rolling, when the lights are on, you'll see one side of people. When the lights are dimmed down and the cameras aren't rolling, it's a whole different story. But I can tell you, and I'm asking you to trust me, because I've seen them not only on the stage, but on the bus, in the apartment, outside of the limelight. And what you see on the stage is exactly how they are in their private life. Humble people, willing to sacrifice, willing to put the country before themselves. We see it time and time again. Apoorva can oftentimes do 10 plus surgeries a day. And then I've seen her fly out here, get on the bus, go do an event stop with Vivek. It's an incredible story. You guys are incredible. So please welcome Apoorva Ramaswamy.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. How amazing is this? It's almost exactly 1 year since my husband came up to me and said, Apoorva, I think I have to run for president of the United States of America. Which is a pretty crazy thing for anyone to say to their spouse, but it was especially crazy for us since we had a 7-month-old and a 3-year-old at the time. So why are we doing this crazy thing? It's for those 2 little boys and their generation. Vivek came to me almost exactly a year ago and he said, Apoorva, I'm really worried because the things that these 2 boys are going to face, the problem of this moral vacuum at the heart of American culture, the lack of pride that we see in the younger generation, the lack of faith that our military is fighting for our American needs, the fact that we are not sure if our government is truly working for us and not the other way around. That's unacceptable, and we need to do something about it. Let me tell you a little bit about why I think my husband's the man for the job. So Vivek and I met when we were both in school. He was in law school, I was in med school. He was the only guy. He was at the top of his law school class at Yale Law School, but he was also working the entire time. He was working as an investor in medicines. And what he learned over that process was the fact that the pharmaceutical industry is completely broken Who here agrees with that? Yeah? So soon after graduating from law school, he came to me and he said, Apoorva, these pharma companies, they make drugs that cost too much, it takes too long to develop them, and most of the time, they don't want to cure our diseases, they just want us to be taking more medications. And I think we can do a better job. I want to start a company that does it differently. And now we were pretty young at the time. He was 28, I was 24, and I said to Vivek, are you sure that's the right move? Should you maybe try working for a company first, see how the system works, and then maybe, start on your own? And he said, no. That is where the corruption is. That is where the problems lie. I've seen it from the outside now, and I think we need to go in as an outsider and show people that we can do things differently. And so he did. He started a company that has now, in the last decade, developed 5 drugs that are now approved by the FDA and that people are actually taking. This is something where there's one disease where when I was in med school, I was taught that these children with this condition would die by the age of 2 years old. But thanks to the medication that Vivek's company developed, these children can now expect to lead normal lives. So I was really proud of him, and that's what he was doing. His company was already worth billions of dollars back in 2020 when he came to me with a new problem. He said to me, Apoorva, there's these companies called BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard, and they're coming to CEOs like me, and they're trying to tell us how to run our companies. They're telling us who we can hire, how much climate emissions we're supposed to be making. They're trying to make me have comments about the BLM movement. These are things that should be decided at the ballot box, not by CEOs, and certainly not by these companies. I think it's a big problem, and I think people need to know about it. So he wrote a book about it called Woke Inc. And he didn't stop there. He actually stepped down as CEO from that company that he had founded. And he started a new company called Stride to be an alternative to those BlackRock and State Streets and Vanguards, to give people an actual alternative, because right now those companies are investing our money from our pension and retirement funds, and they're using it in ways that we would never vote for at the ballot box. And so his company is now the leading alternative to that agenda, and that's called Stride. So then he was CEO of Stride. He had founded and was running Stride exactly a year ago when he came to me and he said, Apoorva, now these problems, I don't think there's a company that I can found that can solve these problems of pride, of the fact that our government is not by the people, for the people. This is something we have to go in and be the President of the United States to fix. Now I said to him, Vivek, do you think maybe you could be like a senator or a governor or something else? And he said, no, because that is where the corruption lies in our political system. You have to go to the head of the beast and cut it off and start new and make the government work for the American people all over this country. And you know what? I think he's going to be the one to do it. So we have gotten to go over this year on this amazing journey. Now I look around this room and I see so many people who have become dear friends over the course of this year. Vivek has been to this state far more than every other candidate, because we know that this is about you. We have learned so much from issues like the carbon capture pipeline to these are the issues that you are dealing with and that we have learned about from coming over and over again. I hear, as you know, I'm not a politician, but I hear that doing a full Grassley is a big deal in this state. Well, Vivek's done it twice. So he's visited every single one of the 99 counties in this state twice. And by the end of this campaign, he will have done almost 330 events, which will be more than every other candidate combined.
Yeah.
So then we look at these polls, and you have to wonder what's going on. And I know in my heart, I know in the types of rooms that we see, you guys are different from the traditional Republican voter in a lot of ways. So most campaigns, most Republican campaigns, the number of people who are donating to that campaign, who are new sponsors, it's about 2 to 3%. Well, this campaign, that number is 40%. So when we say don't believe the polls, we've got the numbers to back it. Vivek is going to surprise this country, and it'll be because of you, the voters, who are excited about him in a way that a lot of Republican candidates have not done for a long time. So you've heard enough from me. I'll let you hear from him. Where is he? There he is.
Met our future First Lady right here. Thank you. So proud of her. Good to see you guys. It's great to be back. I'll tell you, we're doing this together as a family for a reason. And our two sons, we give them the day off today on the campaign trail. They're back in Des Moines. But I'm worried that American dream that Apoorva has lived, kid of immigrants who came to this country with no money, now one of the best in the country at a young age at what she does as a throat surgeon by day, to be here on the campaign trail in the evenings and on the spare time. Myself, my parents came here with no money 40 years ago in search of opportunity, going on to found multiple successful companies. I'm worried that American dream isn't going to exist for our kids and their generation unless we all step up and actually do something about it. I see a Republican Party that has lost its way. That's why I'm in this. When I sat down with Apoorva and said, this is why we actually have an obligation to run for president, it was right after that red wave that never came. You guys remember that? Yeah. Why was that? They'll blame everything from abortion to Donald Trump to anything else. Here's the real reason why. We as a Republican Party have grown lazy. We've lost our way. We criticize the other side. The other side will give us a vision. They're very good at this. They'll stand for something: race, gender, sexuality, climate. And we're sitting here criticizing that vision instead of offering an alternative vision of our own, answering, what do we actually stand for? What does it mean to be a Republican in the year 2024? What does it mean to be an American in the year 2024? That's what we need to answer. And to me, it means we believe in the ideals of 1776. Ideals like merit and the pursuit of excellence. That you get ahead in this country not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. That's why I've said we will end racial preferences and affirmative action in every area of American life. It's been a cancer on our national soul, and we are done with it. Thank you. It means we believe in the rule of law. And I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law. And that is why, as your next president, starting on day one, I will move our own military to our own southern border and our northern border too. That's what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States of America. Thank you. It means that we, the people, create a government that is accountable to us, not the other way around. That the people who we elect to run the government ought to be the ones who actually run the government. Not the shadow government in the deep state that's running the show today. If there's one thing I get done as your next president, one war that I promise you I will wage as your next president. It's not some pointless foreign war abroad in places like Ukraine or elsewhere, no. It's going to be the war on our own shadow government right here at home. You want to drain the swamp? Here's how we're going to do it. Starting on day one, I will fire 75% of those federal bureaucrats across the federal bureaucracy. That's how you drain the swamp. Get started on day one. Shut down government agencies that should no longer exist, from the FBI to the ATF to the CDC to the U.S. Department of Education. We will shut it down. That's how we revive this country. Don't start with last year's budget as the baseline, which is based on the prior year's budget, which is based on the year's budget before that, all of which are corrupt. That's how you get a $34 trillion national debt. You want to fix the national debt problem? You want to drain the swamp? I will bring zero-based budgeting to Washington, D.C. Start with zero as the baseline and ask what's actually necessary. That's how I've run my businesses. That's how successful CEOs across this country run their businesses. That's how we need to run the federal government of the United States. And you know what? If I can't work for you for more than 8 years as your next president, which I think is a good thing, then neither should any of those federal bureaucrats reporting into me either. 8-year term limits for the bureaucracy instead of civil service protections. That is how you drain the swamp. This is not controversial. This is common sense. Now, to get here, we do need lasting change. That means elections we can trust and believe in. You're not supposed to talk about this one, but we need to. Everything I've told you so far, I will get done as your next president without asking Congress for permission or for forgiveness from moving the troops to the southern border to shutting down the federal bureaucracy. That much I can do. But if we want to drive this forward, the top agenda with Congress that I will get done in our first year in office, this is the top of my legislative agenda, is to secure our elections in the United States. Single-day voting on Election Day as a national holiday with paper ballots, government-issued voter ID to match the voter file, and yes, English as the sole language that appears on a ballot. That is how we secure elections in the United States of America. These aren't black ideas or white ideas. These aren't even really Democrat ideas or Republican ideas, not really. These are American ideals that we fought a revolution to secure in this country. And I believe deep in my heart that those ideals still exist. I am running for president to revive them. E pluribus unum. It means from many, one. That's what we've lost in this country. We've been taught to celebrate our diversity and our differences so much that we forgot all of the ways that we are really the same as Americans, bound by that common set of ideals. And here's how we're going to get them back. It's going to be by all of us, not just me. All of us. Starting to speak the truth in the open again. Say in public what you will say in private at the dinner table. Say it with a spine. Say it with conviction. Say it with respect. But part of respect is that you respect your neighbor enough to tell him what you actually think. And you see, that's what this campaign is about. Speaking the truth, not just when it is easy, but when it is hard. Speaking the truth, not just to the Democrats on the other side, but to our own side right here at home in this Republican Party. That's the hard part sometimes. That's what I've been doing on that debate stage. It doesn't always make me friends in the Republican establishment. I'm not in this for friends. I don't report to them. I report to you, the people of this country. And there is a reason why I'm the only candidate in this race who can even touch certain topics, to tell you that I will repeal special legal exemptions for vaccine manufacturers that protect them from being sued. We're done with that. That's crony capitalism, and we are done with it. We deserve justice in this country. To tell you that I will pardon on a day like today especially, I will say it firmly, every peaceful protester on January 6th, because that was the right thing to do for this country, and we're going to get that done. To tell you that Ronna McDaniel should resign as the failed chairwoman of the RNC because we need accountability in our own party before we can bring it to the D.C. bureaucracy. To tell you I'm against that CO2 pipeline making its way across the other half of this state because they're using eminent domain and it's unconstitutional. That it is based on a climate change agenda that I'll say it absolutely is a hoax because it has nothing to do with the climate. And I want you to ask yourself why I'm the only candidate in this race who can even tell you these things. It's because our politics is broken. It's corrupt. Anymore, every politician is dancing to the tune of their biggest donor. And in my case, that biggest donor is me. I don't report to them. I report to you. I'm not going to be somebody else's circus monkey, somebody's pawn on a chessboard. To be honest, I'd rather lose this election and speak the truth than to win by playing some fake game of political snakes and ladders. That's the truth. And you know what? I'm betting that is the winning strategy. But that's not our choice. That's your choice. That choice belongs to you, and that's why we're here. We're here to ask for your help. You're the real boss of this country. We, the people, create a government accountable to us, not the other way around. A government of the people, for the people, by the people. That's why we're here. That's why Iowa goes first. That's why every one of your voices and votes counts as the equivalent of 1 million people. Think about that. And the impact that it has in choosing the next president. That's why we're here, to ask you for your help, to take 30 minutes of your time next Monday, January 15th, to save this country, to take each of you, 10 people who you know who aren't in this room, bring them along too. And actually, they told us today, it's going to be a cold day. I think that's a good thing, because the people who are coming for us are coming for this country, not because they're doing what they're told to do. Bring 10 people along with you. Bring them to the Iowa Caucus too. And if you all do your part, I promise you, Apoorva and I and our family, we will do ours to make sure, not in some cheesy politician way, but in a true way, to make sure that our country's best days are actually still ahead of us. Thank you for coming tonight, guys. God bless you and your families. And may God bless our United States of America. We will not stop until we get this job done. I want to open this up. Let's hear from you all. I'm going to sit across the table from Xi Jinping. I've told you that in about 18 months I will handle the hard ones from our own voters. So give me the hard ones, about the 10 days we have left. Start right here, sir. And I love that jacket.
A lot of the candidates skirt the issue of climate change. I remember the first time I saw you down, and you mentioned it, and I thank you for that. So I really appreciate that, because it is the biggest hoax that there is, besides voter fraud. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And let me say a word about it right now. You're right, because at that first debate, and actually this is what started getting me in trouble with the Republican establishment. They said, they're going to have a hand-raising question. I encourage you to watch this. They said, raise your hand if you think that man-made climate change poses a major threat to the future of humanity. And it will require everybody else on the stage to raise their hand. My hands are in my pockets. And then the other candidates, I forget which one it was, might have been Ron, I don't remember, interrupts and says, no, why do we have to do this? Let's just talk about it. They want to hide from the issue. I will tell you this. The climate change agenda is a hoax because it has nothing to do with the climate. And I know something about this issue. So you know what? They're not going to dismiss me as some sort of rube who doesn't know about climate change. Well, you know what? The people who they dismiss as rubes know more about the people who are the alleged media reporting on the science. But let me tell you some hard facts. There's been a 98% reduction in the climate disaster-related death rate in the last century. For every 100 people that died of a heat wave or a tornado or a hurricane or whatever in 1920, that number is 2 today. Why? Because of more access and abundance and use of fossil fuels and other forms of energy in the United States and advances in technology. 8 times as many people died last year of cold temperatures rather than warm ones. And we're sitting here worried about a small, tiny, infinitesimal rise in global surface temperatures. The Earth is more covered by green surface area today than it was a century ago because carbon dioxide is plant food. Actually, so that makes sense, and that you do well to remind people of that in this state, where they're building the CO2 carbon capture pipeline using eminent domain to steal the land of farmers. So yes, this whole thing is a hoax. I could go on. But how do you know it's a hoax? I'll tell you. I'll prove this to you. Because sometimes you got to see the why, right, to really understand this. This is a threat to our sovereignty in the United States. That's what this is. The same people who are opposed to carbon emissions in the United States are perfectly fine shifting those same carbon emissions to places like China in the name of fighting global climate change. Doesn't make any sense. The same people who are most opposed to fossil fuels are also the ones who are most opposed to nuclear energy, which is the greatest form of carbon-free energy production known to man. Again, this doesn't make sense if you're operating according to principles of logic, but you're not. This has become a religion, but here's what it's about. It has nothing to do with the climate. Here's what it's about. It's about what they call global equity. That's the words they use, even if you look at their patron saint. Unfortunately, psychologically ill girl by the name of Greta Thunberg, who will tell you it's not about the climate. It's about, actually, it's sort of a modern, it's a religious fixation, really. They view in this religion her, she's like a Joan of Arc figure. It's amazing how these patterns repeat themselves. You lose your belief in God, you're going to believe in a new God instead, call it climate. That's what's going on. But this is actually about, for China, letting China catch up to the United States. They're using that to laugh at us. There's a word in Chinese and Mandarin called baizuo. It literally translated, don't shoot the messenger, it refers to progressive white people in the United States, and they use it to laugh at us. It's the equivalent of the Soviet Union's words of useful idiot to refer to us in the West that are falling for their trick. And you know what country actually burned more coal than it ever has in its history? China, as we burned less coal than we ever have and constrained our baseload power generation. You know what country has a Gen 4 nuclear reactor? It's the most advanced kind. It's China. Well, we're sitting here at Gen 2 in this country. So yes, it's going to take a president who can speak the hard truth. The Republicans will say, oh, well, you know, can't we move this energy transition a little bit slower? And isn't this a little bit too fast? What energy transition? We have done things the way we have for a reason. We shouldn't apologize for our modern way of life by wearing this hair shirt, flogging ourselves. No, we don't deserve to apologize. We deserve to double down on what made us great the first time. And so, yes, that's what American exceptionalism is all about. I'm not going to apologize for that. And the Democratic establishment, the Republican establishment, can frankly go to their caves and go back to where they came from, being relegated to the dustbins of history. And we unleash some American exceptionalism again in this country. That's what I'll say. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll go right across this row here. We'll go here, and then we'll just pass the mic along to each of you. And we're seeing the same thing all over again post-Jan 6, so it's interesting how these cycles continue. So I was in U.S. history class at St. Xavier High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. U.S. history class. When we saw the second plane hit the Twin Tower. And another teacher stuck their head in and said they got us. That's where I was. And I think we all remember what that next day, September 12th, felt like. It was the one day that I last remember in my adult life where we all said that black or white, man or woman, Democrat or Republican, we were American on that day. And what happened afterward is we squandered that. We had a government that does what the government today does. Then it was a Republican administration. Today it's a Democratic administration. A government that lied to its people, that systematically lied in the aftermath of 9/11. Systematically used that as the basis for invading another country that had nothing to do with 9/11, Iraq, sending thousands of our sons and daughters to go die in those wars, adding up $7 trillion of today's national debt due to the occupations of Iraq and Afghanistan that didn't advance our interests. For God's sake, the Taliban, the same Taliban that housed al-Qaeda, responsible for 9/11, 20 years later, $7 trillion later, tens of thousands of America's sons and daughters of lives lost later. The Taliban is still in charge in Afghanistan, and Iraq is a more broken country than we showed up. A domestic surveillance state. In the aftermath of the Patriot Act, which said this was in the name of national security, to be able to spy on you for the last 20 years, that now says is the same one they're going after you if you actually liked a post that Donald Trump made on Twitter, you're now the subject of Jack Smith's subpoena. And if you didn't know that, you're included in that subpoena. And so then the Democrats take that over, become the party of the neoconservatives with respect to foreign policy and with respect to the federal police state, only to bring the pendulum back where you have Republican candidates running for president in this very race who say that if you want to use a social media account or use the internet, you have to have a government-issued ID tied to your internet account and your social media profile in the name of, you guessed it, national security. So this is a bipartisan problem, a bipartisan cancer, and I'm sick and tired of it. I could care less if you have an R or a D after your name. The job of a U.S. president is to swear an oath to the Constitution and to keep it. And that is what I will do as your next president. That Constitution, that Bill of Rights includes the First Amendment that says you get to speak your mind freely without the government spying on you or penalizing you for what you say, that you get to worship and practice your faith freely without the government discriminating against you on that basis. That's what it means to be an American. And I don't care what party you're a member of, we should all be able to unite around that, and that's how I'm going to lead this country. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. To pass it along. Oh, good to see you. Thank you.
You've spoken about eminent domain a few times.
Yes.
Daily, twice tonight. And on the carbon pipeline, I think you got good agreement that's BS. Under what circumstances, if any, would you support the use of eminent domain?
So, and then we can come to you right after that, and then we'll go to other parts of the room. I follow the Constitution. I think presidents fall into a trap when they think they got to reinvent the wheel from scratch. That's hubris. Follow the Constitution. The Fifth Amendment says eminent domain is only necessary for a public use. So first of all, what's happened with the carbon capture pipeline is not a public use. It's a private company that's collecting subsidies from the federal government, free money of our taxpayer money going through the federal government back to a handful, maybe one or two people in the country, one or two firms, that are then using private eminent domain, and that's unconstitutional. Now, the second use is even the state laws say it, in this state and Iowa included, it has to be necessary. Now, I apply a really high bar as necessary. Is human life on the line? Is it actually necessary to accomplish a public purpose? Public use, actually. Not just a public purpose, but public use. It's the government doing something that's actually necessary to protect life or otherwise. That doesn't apply when it's just for some private firm to be able to make money as a context of crony capitalism. And if we accept that it is necessary for the removal of carbon dioxide for the atmosphere in the case of a pipeline, what's next? Your gas stove. Somebody could come in, take it, leave a $50 check in your mailbox. Your combustion engine vehicle, come to your garage, tow it out, leave a $100 check in your mailbox. Take your cow, for that matter. It releases methane. I'm not kidding. Leave a $50 check on the grass on their way out. That's where this goes. If you take this climate agenda, combine that with eminent domain, there's the social control of Klaus Schwab's greatest dream come true here in the American homeland. That's not the American dream. That's an American nightmare. It's not going to happen on my watch, and that's why I hold a hard line for the Constitution and against that climate agenda. Thank you, man. I appreciate the question. We'll go right next to you. Thank you, guys. And then we'll come back after that.
So when Trump was president, the media was set so firmly against him that the nation became even more divided than it was. So how do you plan to unite the country when they've already started to paint you as something you're not?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and it's sad, actually, to see a media that is focused on making sure that the people of this country don't actually hear directly about a person and what their views are. You know, CNN here in Iowa, they cut off my town hall 5 minutes early before plan, an emergency cutoff because I had started to share some hard truths about what happened on January 6th and how I would pardon those peaceful protesters. I don't know what phone calls they were getting. They cut it off early. They have an emergency session of expert panels labeling me as whatever, some sort of conspiracy theorist, some sort of insurrectionist sympathizer. You know, people who is one of their characters on the talking head character says I'm going to be a demagogue, a threat to this country, living 50 years longer than Trump. He was shaking. And I think that this is intentional, actually. And I think the best check against this, though, and here's the bright side, is a free and open internet. Because what's different today than even 15, 20 years ago when many people were not as much using the direct internet, the era of podcasts or otherwise didn't exist, is people can get their information directly as long as we preserve a free and open internet. And that's why I'm a hardliner against the rise of what I call not big tech censorship. Sometimes we fall into the trap. The other side is very good at using language. They're Orwellian in their expertise. We have to be better in naming the problem. It's not big tech censorship. It is government tech censorship. The government is using these tech companies and media organizations to do through the back door what the government could not itself get done through the front door under the Constitution. That's really what they're doing, and that's illegal when the government does it. So I've said as the next president, any time that we find evidence, and we're going to disclose it and require it, of a government bureaucrat threatening a private company, a media company, a tech company, or otherwise, a bank, to do something through the back door that the government could not itself do through the front door, we're going to publish it for the public to see, roll that log over, see what crawls out. Elon did it at Twitter. We're going to do it across the entire federal bureaucracy and across this entire economy, and then actually hold those lawbreakers accountable. That's what I think is actually going on. But if I'm running the executive branch of the government, I can expose it and finally fix that problem. That's a good answer to your question, I hope. Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll go right there, and then we'll work our way back. And then we'll come to this side of the room after.
Just a quick question about your thoughts about recent events at your alma mater, Harvard, and what lessons you might take from what's going on there.
Yeah, there's two lessons. So for those of you who are paying attention to things in the world that affect your life rather than what's going on. But there's a lesson in this that still is deeply relevant to all of our lives. So Claudine Gay, the recently hired president of Harvard, was fired after what appears to be an really ignominious track record of failing to publish. I mean, she's only published, I think, 10 or 11 or 12 articles ever in her career, no books. Turns out all of them were just cut and paste jobs of things that other people had written about race or a bunch of other topics. And, the unspoken reality in all of this is that she's a black woman. And that's the uncomfortable truth here. And it's an uncomfortable truth because, in this case, it's clear she got her job because of her race and gender. I just have to say it out loud. Because we have to address the problem, you've got to speak the truth about it. And it's sad because, actually, there's another black professor at Harvard who was far more productive than she had been, like, by miles. She actually was threatened by him and went after some what appears to be spurious allegations of creating a hostile work environment for women or something like that, because she was threatened by anybody else who might actually expose the charade that she got her job because of her identity politics, and especially if there's a black man who's much more productive, that poses a threat to her own identity. And so what are the lessons that came out of this? Eventually, there was enough of an exposition of this that she ended up having to step down. She didn't do it gracefully. She did it calling out the system, everyone misogynist, racist, whole nine yards. What are the lessons? Claudine Gay was to Harvard as Kamala Harris is to Harvard, as Kamala Harris is to the Democratic Party, actually. Right? When somebody gets their job with utter incompetence, I mean, in Kamala Harris's case, it's like the equivalent of Claudine Gay at Harvard for her papers that she's writing. Kamala Harris is the person in charge of AI policy in the United States of America. Can you think of a greater danger to the future of humanity? Somebody who's running AI policy that quite literally cannot spell AI. I mean, that's the truth of where we are right now. But when somebody gets their job exclusively because of their race and gender, as absolutely was the case for Kamala Harris, and as absolutely was the case for Claudine Gay, it becomes very difficult to fire them because otherwise you risk being got the R word, a racist. And there's no greater damnation in modern America, at least until very recently. I think things are changing a little bit as people see the charade. But until about last year, there's no greater damnation in modern America than to be called a racist. So when given the choice between pledging allegiance to that new religion and being tarred with that scarlet letter, you know what? Everyday Americans are choosing to bend the knee, creating this new culture of fear in our country. And that culture of fear has spread like an epidemic. So you got the emperor with no clothes. Everybody sees it. You can see it with your own eyes, but you can't say it. And that builds distrust. And the sad part is it breeds a new wave of racism that we otherwise would not have had in this country if you hadn't actually created that underbelly of actually creating institutionalized reverse racism and then told, shut up, sit down, do as you're told, you're a racist, if you point out what we all can see with our naked eyes. And so I think it requires more of us speaking that hard truth again. So that's the first lesson. The second lesson actually doesn't even relate to race or gender. It's that Claudine Gay wasn't really a scholar, yet she was the president of a university. So how did she get there? She got there through the root of the bureaucracy, right? She wasn't a real academic. She didn't have an original thought in her life, it would seem to me, right? I mean, I've been an entrepreneur. I mean, I've written more books and articles in the last year than she's written over a 20-year career, and she's now the president of Harvard as of 2 weeks ago. Is that she rose through the ranks of the bureaucracy. She was the associate dean of God knows what and rise in the ranks of the bureaucrats. And that's actually the moment we live in right now in America, is every institution has been taken over by the bureaucrats. The hospitals, the VA, the universities, the schools, companies, the HR department. I mean, I got the people running the insane asylum. They say the crazy people running the insane asylum. It's the HR department running the companies, actually, anymore. And the biggest mother of all bureaucracies, the one I'm looking to fix, the bureaucracy in the federal government. It's not even Biden who's running the show. I don't sit here criticizing Joe Biden because he's not even really the president. He's a puppet for the bureaucrats who are running the show. So this is what I called in my first book, Woke Inc. There was a chapter on this called The Rise of the Managerial Class. And it's not a kind of tantalizing subject that'll make, cable news on a given night, but it's the real cancer in this country, is the rise of the middling bureaucrat, the technocrat, who says that, you know what, we know better than the actual, in the case of a university, a professor who has original ideas. No. To them, shut up, sit down, do as you're told. We're the bureaucrats, the ones who are in charge. And then there's the thing about this is the bureaucracy and the wokeism, they go together. Because the bureaucrats always fail in their purpose, so they blow woke smoke to deflect accountability from their failures. Go institution by institution. Go across the board. Wall Street, they got the bailouts after the 2008 financial crisis. Well, you know what? We don't like Occupy Wall Street, but we'll utter some slogans you all like. Muse about the private jet travel to Davos. That's fine for us, but muse about the racially disparate impact of climate change after you get there. Muse about systemic racism. We can do that. As long as you leave us alone, we'll blow the woke smoke so our bureaucracy stays intact. Silicon Valley will censor speech. Some middling bureaucrat at Twitter or Google or whatever. It's not even Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey or anybody else at the top that even knows about it happening. It's the middling bureaucrats across the board that'll censor hate speech or misinformation as long as you leave us alone. Think about our own military, the bureaucrats in the military. General Mark Milley, the likes of Mark Milley, did not want to take the criticism for the Iraq War and their failures. Says that, hey, we'll just blow some woke smoke. Talk about systemic racism and white rage in our military. Blowing woke smoke to deflect accountability for our own failures. The teachers' unions. That's the rise of the managerial class in our educational system. We'll shut down the schools for 2 years in the public schools during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's amazing how COVID only affects the teachers at public schools. It only affects unionized teachers, not the non-unionized ones. Interesting how that works. And then a couple years later, it turns out the kids aren't doing so well in math classes in the inner city. The disparity has grown. What do they say? Math is racist. Math isn't racist. 2 + 2 still equals 4, I promise you, no matter what your skin color is. But what might have been inequitable and a failure was their failure to teach those black kids in the inner city how to do math for those 2 years. But they blow the woke smoke to deflect accountability for their own failures. So actually, it turns out in that little tale about Harvard and the ivory tower in Cambridge, Massachusetts, there is a tale for all of us to understand. It's the rise of the bureaucrats that are using identity politics as a deflection as they fail us in every one of our institutions. And it's time to us to stand up for truth, to stand up for merit. That, you know what, once again, you do get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character. And an institution, including the government, ought to serve the people who it's supposed to serve rather than the bureaucrats who have actually taken it over. That's the lesson I take away. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Go right behind you.
Good evening. So I just retired from the Marine Corps in October.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
So I can tell you from many years of experience that a lot of our veterans and active duty service members feel abandoned by the government and also like the military is gone woke. I've got friends trying to recruit out on the streets. None of the branches are making mission except the Marine Corps, which is struggling due to many applicants being mentally ill, ineligible medically because they're over-medicated and mentally ill, or they just don't want to join. They're already, disenfranchised from the idea. I lived through the COVID-19 mandates in the military. I had many friends lose their careers over that, and I also had personal friends of mine on the deployment during the Afghanistan withdrawal. Took that very personally. It alienated many OAF and OEF veteran friends of mine and those that were still active duty. So my question to you is, what are your plans for establishing and reinstating strength and integrity within our military for our active duty service members, our veterans, and for the future generation that is currently too mentally ill and over-medicated to even serve in our ranks? What is your plan moving forward on that?
Well, thank you. It's an important question. And first of all, a country that doesn't stand for its own troops and doesn't stand for its own veterans isn't really a country. It's just going through the motions. And right now we have a 25% recruitment deficit in our U.S. military. A lot of the reasons you just named them. Among them, young people don't want to serve a country that they're taught to hate by their educational system and then by their own military itself. It's not inspiring. How are we going to fix this? It's been taken over by the bureaucrats who blow the woke smoke. Clean house of the Pentagon, and actually as the commander-in-chief, restore the mission and purpose of the U.S. military to protect American citizens, most importantly here in our own homeland, to win wars when necessary, but to avoid them even more importantly. That's the mission. That's all that matters. So you know what? I don't want people checking off, oh, I'm a Hispanic American or Black American. Who cares? We're all American. There's one box, we check it off, we're American. We're done measuring all of the identitarian politics. Done with that crap. We are American, and we fight for this nation. I'm not going to send our troops to fight somebody else's war halfway around the world that doesn't advance our interests. That's part of why many young people have been jaded and cynical. I will use our military, and I will ask the young men and women who serve, is there some sacrifice involved? Yes, there is, but that's why they serve. To protect our own southern border against the invasion at our own southern border, and our northern border too, to protect our own citizens in this country from the actual threats that we face. That's restoring mission and purpose to our military. How do we correct for the injustices of the past? I've already made this commitment. I'll reiterate it tonight. Anybody who did lose their job in the military because of the COVID-19 mandates, many of whom made the right decision for themselves, deserve to actually be recognized for making the right decision with a spine, restored to their position with 1.5 times back pay to make up for the actual damage that was done to them. That's what it means to stand for our own military. And I will do that as your commander-in-chief. Now let's go to actually taking care of our veterans, which we're failing to do in this country badly. They say it's close to 23 veterans a day committing suicide. Actually, we've looked into the numbers. Actually, if you look at this, it looks like it's upwards of 40 veterans per day committing suicide in the United States of America. That's unconscionable. That's unacceptable in this country, this great nation, that we're allowing that to happen. Basic changes. This should be nonpartisan, all of this. Coming back from combat roles, veterans deserve 6-week paid decompression buffers in a third-party location before being thrust back into civilian life. With that, we bring down the rate of PTSD by about 80%. Allow veterans the ability to report their PTSD when they experience it. Instead of being afraid of being tagged with the red flag law, give them the privacy protections that our own veterans deserve. Veterans shouldn't have to drive 200 miles, 150 miles to the nearest VA. They should be able to, when necessary, get their community-based medical care, yes, still paid for by the VA. Veterans deserve absolute medical choice, which they don't have today. Turn into fentanyl and suicide when they could be getting Schedule I drugs that are otherwise denied to them through the VA, from psilocybin to ayahuasca to otherwise. Spicy for the Republican Party, maybe, I don't care. That's the truth. It's what it means to stand for our veterans. Veterans deserve to not have their benefits, and military, active duty military deserves not to have their compensation subject to federal taxation. I'm going to put an end to that. That's what it means to actually stand for our own veterans and the signal that we send. And in our VA system, I'm going to run it like the way we'd run a company. In a public company, the shareholders set the pay of the people who are the CEO and the CFO and who gets hired and fired at the top. We will restructure the VA such that our own veterans are treated as the shareholders of the VA. So yes, for me, it's not just lip service. Yes, we stand with our troops. I'm done with that. Enough with the lip service. Actions speak louder than words, and those are the actions that we're going to deliver to stand for our military, to stand for our young men and women who serve, our sons and daughters that we actually rely on to protect this country, and yes, our veterans who have served our country. That is how we are going to stand with them. Thank you for your service and for your questions. Thank you. I appreciate it. We got to swing across to this side. I feel like we'll come to you next. If we have time, we'll come back to you, sir.
Vivek, thank you for coming to Cedar Rapids.
Thank you, man.
Over the course of the last 12 months, I want to thank you for being a part of this process, the sacrifices you've made, you and your family, your wife.
Thank you.
It's a tremendous honor to have you here, and I thank you very much.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Question. $200 billion to a country that was on the list as
the most corrupt nation on planet Earth.
On planet Earth, with no accountability. And we're still talking about giving them more money. What's enough?
Enough is enough, is what I say when it comes to this philosophy. We're done with this. America last is how I would summarize the platform of much of the Republican Party, most of the Republican Party. Cut Social Security and Medicare and cut veterans' benefits so we can ship $200 billion more to Ukraine so some kleptocrat can buy a bigger house, while them lying to us with how that money has been spent. This bastion of democracy, they will tell you, that somehow has banned 11 opposition parties, has persecuted the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, has not even allowed the eastern provinces of Ukraine to participate in its parliamentary elections for the better part of the last decade, that's consolidated all of its media into one state TV media arm. Yes, this bastion of democracy is the one that we're supposed to defend in the name of what battle versus good versus evil, to borrow the language from my fellow presidential contenders, who stand to make money off of it, by the way. And that's the dirty little underbelly of this. We're done with it. Why are we doing it? It's because people like that in the Republican Party. You got Joe Biden in the Democratic Party. His son got a $5 million bribe from Ukraine, the very country that we're now forking over $200 billion of our own taxpayer money to. That ends on my watch. We're going to use our military resources to protect our own homeland. We're going to deliver accountability for all of the people who are guilty of corruption, squandering our money if they broke the law, and I believe many of them did. They're going to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. And I'm going to end the war on reasonable terms that require Russia to exit its military alliance with China. That's what we got to worry about. Our funding the war in Ukraine, it's not even the money that's the worst part of it. It's that we're driving Russia further into China's hands, which increases the risk of World War III at a point where, God forbid, we should enter it. The United States of America could cease to exist. Russia and China together right now, sadly, outmatch the United States in many different areas. That's the part they won't tell you. So what I'm going to be focused on is keep us out of World War III, declare economic independence from communist China, and then implement a radical idea in our foreign policy of using our own national defense spending to actually defend our own homeland in this country against cyber attacks and super EMP attacks and basic border defenses and basic missile defenses, all of which we're lacking today. That's the president we deserve. Somebody who actually protects our own citizens. That's what would make George Washington proud. That's my moral duty as your next president. As a father, my moral duty is to my family, period. And I won't be shaken in that. As your next president, my moral duty is to you, the citizens of this nation, not another one. That's what it means to put America first. America first doesn't come with an asterisk. It's not a costume you wear on TV, as some in the Republican Party seem to think. No, America first stands for the vision of George Washington, that we advance the interests of our citizens. And that's not just good for America, that's good for the world. What hope does the free world have if the shining city on a hill no longer shines? That changes on my watch. And you know what? They've rewritten Ronald Reagan and the history to make him out to be some kind of neocon. No, I will not let them co-opt the legacy of Reagan. He actually used common sense. After the ignominy in Beirut, in the Beirut bombings, he made a decision that the managerial class tried to get him to not make, to say, hey, I'm going to take a fresh look and realize we might have made a mistake and we shouldn't be here, and reoriented them and got our sons and daughters out of there. Well, today they try to bury that part of Reagan's legacy. So we have to reclaim our own history dating back to George Washington. This isn't isolationism. It is about standing for our own principles and engaging in every conflict. I'm the only president to say I will stand for Taiwan, at least for the foreseeable future, when we depend on Taiwan for our modern way of life. The only candidate who can say it. But it takes somebody who actually puts the interests of this country first, rather than their own pocketbook or an outdated philosophy that has not served this country well. That's how I'm going to lead. Thank you. I appreciate that question. We'll go right there to the young woman. Right there.
So when I went to college here in Iowa, I feel like I was penalized in class for having conservative and Christian beliefs or any opinions that disagreed with those of the professors. So how can you balance college professors' rights to have free speech while also stopping spread of misinformation and indoctrination in college campuses?
It's a great question. So I think it's actually by preserving free speech. Because part of what you're describing is an assault on free speech. Right? You have certain views you're discriminated against. The definition of an assault on free speech is viewpoint discrimination. It's exactly what's happening in this country. So much of what you see there is actually a civil rights violation under the law. Right? So just like you can't fire somebody or penalize somebody for being black or gay or Muslim or Hindu or Jewish or whatever, you shouldn't be able to do so for somebody for being a Christian or for being white or for having a conservative political point of view either. A lot of those are civil rights violations today. And so I've written about this in my first book, Woke Inc., laid out actually arguments that say, if this dogma meets the Supreme Court's test for what counts as a religion, modern wokeism, and it does, and I've laid this out elsewhere, then that's every bit a civil rights violation to force you to bend down to that religion, just as a public university couldn't force you to bow down to any other one. So some of this has to come from a government that applies its own laws even-handedly. So that's respecting free speech rights. It's actually how you protect free speech, by protecting against rampant viewpoint discrimination. But I do think there's something deeper going on that's not just a matter of the top-down issue. It's a bottom-up issue in this country. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now? You're 23. So I would say in my generation and yours, and I think in some ways it's true of all of us right now, we're lost, actually. We're hungry for a cause. We're all starved right now for purpose and meaning and identity. At a time in our history when the things that used to fill that void, faith in God, patriotism, hard work, family, these things have disappeared. And that leaves a moral vacuum, a black hole in our heart. And when you have a black hole that runs that deep, that is when the poison fills the void. Pick your favorite one. It almost doesn't matter what it is. Wokeism, transgenderism, climatism, COVIDism, anti-Semitism, Zelenskyism. It's really kind of a religion, really. Depression, anxiety, fentanyl, suicide. It's not an accident that we see the rise of these same poisons at the same time. They're symptoms of a deeper void. Many of your peers are falling in the direction of that siren song, not because they believe these ideas, but because they're lost. And so I think part of what we need to do as a movement is we need to fill that void with the real thing: individual, family, nation, God. That beats race, gender, sexuality, and climate if we have the courage to actually stand for our shared values. I think every high school senior who graduates from high school should have to pass the same civics test that every immigrant has to pass in order to become a voting citizen of this country. I don't think that's too much to ask. We've got to know something about a country, to have pride in that country, revive civic education. So some of this is going to be, I'm going to get that job done. But the other way we're going to do this is it's got to be bottom up as well. Dilute the poison to irrelevance by standing for who we really are. And that's something I believe I can do as your next president in a way that I don't believe an ordinary politician is going to be able to. I think it's going to take somebody from the next generation with fresh legs to reach and lead that new generation of Americans, to dilute this poison to irrelevance. That's half the job of the next president. It's not just the policies we're talking about. The other half of the job is to revive our national character, to answer who we are. And I think that, too, is how I'm going to be able to take our America First agenda to the next level. That's why I'm in this race, even though Donald Trump, who I respect immensely, he's in this race, too. But I'm going to do things differently. We're not going to win just by playing whack-a-mole. We're going to win this war, and it is a war, by diluting the poison on the other side to irrelevance, reviving our national identity. That's how we're going to win. To put America first, we have to rediscover what America is. That's how we're going to win this war. And I think that swearing an oath to the Constitution and keeping it, that's where it begins. The Constitution says you can't establish a state religion. Well, you know what? Climatism or COVIDism or wokeism or the modern capitalist secularism, that has become a new state religion. It takes a president who can swear an oath to that Constitution and keep it to actually do it. So hopefully that gives you a sense, bottom up and top down, how I'll lead this country to address that problem so the next generation doesn't have to necessarily face what you did. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Good time for one last question, and we'll give you the final word here.
Thank you for being here. Is the FDA broken, and how do you fix Big Pharma?
Yes, okay, I'll take this one quickly, and then I promise the other half of the room, so we'll give one final question. The FDA is broken. It's corrupted by the revolving door between the FDA and Big Pharma. That's the answer. So what are we going to do when it comes to the FDA? Pharma wants the hurdles for a new drug to be developed to be high so they can actually insulate themselves from competition and charge extortionary high prices for those drugs. Every one of the drugs that I developed could have been developed for a fraction of that cost, but the reason it isn't done that way is because of Big Pharma lobbying. That's what drives up prescription drug pricing. So the FDA, like the EPA or the SEC or the FTC or the TSA or the God knows what or the FBI, it's a alphabet soup that we're going to have a 75% headcount reduction across the board. Part of the problem, even at the U.S. Federal Reserve, you see this. You got too many people showing up to work who should have never had that job. They start finding things to do. That's where the corruption begins. Gut the bureaucracy at its core. End the revolving door. You shouldn't be able to join the industry that you were regulating for, I would say, at least 10 years until after you've left. End the ability to trade individual stocks for federal bureaucrats or for anybody in Congress. These are basic anti-corruption changes. Fix that, and that's how we fix the corruption. Fix that problem at the FDA, and that's how we revive the beginnings of a healthcare system that actually fights prescription drug prices in this country. Great question. We'll take one last one over here.
And I'll say this as someone who's relatively new with you, probably a couple, 2-3 weeks about learning, listening to your videos and stuff. Where does how much you get America come from? And what I mean by that is, like, you talk about your parents coming to this country. It's easy to understand why someone coming from a country that's suppressed economically thrives in a free market and understand that part. But I feel like you could have conversations with the founding fathers or people like David Barton and Rick Green who understand why this country is what it is. Where did that education come from to you? Because you get it. Where's that from?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. It's a good question. I mean, I didn't come out of the birth canal spouting Republican talking points. I promise you that. I in many ways, came to my views as a product of my own experiences, actually. I voted Libertarian in my first election. Some of the opposition research dug that one up, and so they got me. At 19 years old, I voted Libertarian when I was in college. Voted in my first election. But I eventually became a conservative because I realized that even what are we going to do in that country that is, if we're free of the state, there's still something called virtue that matters. And in many ways, I'm grateful to my parents for instilling in me at a young age what became the faith that I now have as an adult. I left it during my teenage years, including when I voted Libertarian at the age of 19 and otherwise, but I came back to it as an adult. And so maybe I'll use this as an opportunity to tell you about even something more deeper than my political views, which is my faith, actually. My faith, I think I speak for both of us. Our faith, Apoorva and I both, is what leads us to this journey. And it is a little different than the traditional faith background of people who have run for U.S. president. As many of you may know, we're Hindu. That's different than the traditional Christian background of most U.S. presidents. Less so than you might think, actually. If you look at Thomas Jefferson, he was a deist, actually. And I'm a student of American history, and it's part of what gives me my grounding as well. But anyway, the core of my faith is that we believe there's one true God, that he puts each of us here for a purpose, that it's our moral duty to realize that purpose, that God gives each of us our own unique gifts. Every one of us has our own God-given gift. But it's our duty to use those God-given gifts to do what's right in the short time we're given. That God works through us in different ways, but we're all still equal because we're equal in the eyes of God, actually. So that's the heart of my faith. And part of what brought me to some of the, I would say, more conservative views that I have today, as opposed to just liberty-minded from the government, actually started when I showed up at St. X High School, St. Xavier in Cincinnati, at the age of 14, a Christian school where we got a robust religious education. We read the Bible for the first time. At least for me, it was the first time. We get to the Ten Commandments. What do they say? Felt like it was not that different from the values that my parents raised me in. There's one true God. Don't take his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't steal. Don't commit adultery. Honor your parents. Don't covet. It occurred to me, I wasn't reading these values for the first time. They are the values that this country was founded on. They're the values that feel foreign in today's culture. But they're the values and shared values that we've lost in this country. And for me, actually, it was the experience of being at St. X High School. It was a continuation of, I went to a public school that was actually a relatively poor public school through 8th grade. It was, I think, majority black, maybe something like it. It was a lot of kids maybe a couple of years ahead of me that didn't come from, a couple years older, but held back. I went to St. X, so we were the only academically oriented family there. At St. X High School, I was the lone Hindu kid at a Catholic high school. At Harvard, I became kind of a lone right-leaning person among a friend group and peer group that had a different point of view. And so part of what led me to my views is my faith and my sense of purpose, but also getting comfortable with being a contrarian, right? The only person who, in a room, was able to say something. And one of the things I realized, and this is something I realized over the course of my life, is when you're the only person in a room who has a belief, and you actually say it, most of the time you realize that you weren't the only person in that room who actually had that belief. And so that, I guess, is what brought me to the idea that, fear is contagious, but courage can be contagious too. It just requires more of us to actually show it. And so what brought me into this realm of politics was actually an unexpected journey. I was a CEO of a biotech company that I founded, led that company for 7 years as CEO. And then George Floyd dies in May of 2020. There's BLM protests, really violent riots, let's call them what they are, across this country. And then there was an expectation that every CEO in tech or biotech was supposed to say something in favor of BLM and write a check and make a donation. I refused to do it. That's what I'd always been, and by that point, grown comfortable doing. I don't mind bucking the trend if I believe that's the right thing, if I'm realizing my purpose by doing it. Well, that resulted in a series of controversies. A number of prominent advisors to my company resigned. And I had to make a choice. Was I going to stand for my convictions, to say the company should not be meddling in politics this way, to say that I'm not going to stand for an organization that calls for the dismantling of the nuclear family structure, or was I going to check the box and bend the knee and do what every other tech CEO was doing, even though most of them didn't believe it either? So I chose to step down from my job as a biotech CEO and speak my mind openly. Thankfully, it was a multi-billion-dollar company. There was a successor lined up. My CFO promoted him to CEO and spoke my mind freely. And so, anyways, it's always a hard question to answer about yourself. How did you come to the views you are? Apoorva could probably give you a better answer about that, about me maybe, than I can. But I can tell you it's a product of my own experiences. And I think that it's good to have a president, if I may say. Thomas Jefferson was this way. He was a product of his own experiences too. My beliefs today aren't the same beliefs that I had at the age of 19. They're a product of what you actually see, and every day we're wiser for what we learn. But I want to pass that on to kids across this country, that just because you believe something today, even on the college campuses or otherwise, doesn't mean that's where you have to end up in your beliefs. I go to college campuses and say, you know what? You can try this on like a set of clothes. If it doesn't fit you, you can put it back on the rack, but at least give them the permission to try it on. And I think that's something that I had in my upbringing, something that I had even in the educational culture that I grew up in. The Harvard of today was not the Harvard that I went to 15 years ago. Back then, you could still dissent and do so in the open. But what I tell young people today is, go ahead and be that contrarian. Go ahead and stand up and buck that trend if needed. And today, you know what, on a college campus, if you want to be a hippie, you want to be countercultural, try standing up and calling yourself a Christian conservative, actually. That's the new hippies of our modern time. And so I think that courage can be contagious. It just requires more of us to step up and actually show it. And it's not going to be just one president who does this, and I'll close on this. If we're going to be saved as a country right now, it isn't going to be some president coming from on high down to save us. If we're going to be saved, it is going to be because we save ourselves. Every one of us doing our part, pastors to parents, to teachers, to coaches, every one of us doing our part. But I'm volunteering to play my part as your next president. And if we get this right now, then I don't think anymore we have to be this nation in decline that we've become. I don't think we have to be at the end of the ancient Roman Empire anymore. I think what George Washington would say if he were here in this room is that as a nation right now, we are really just a little young, actually. Going through our own version of our adolescence. Figuring out who we're going to be when we grow up. That we do have another 250 years and then some left in this American journey. So no, I don't think we have to be this nation in decline. I still think we can be a nation in our ascent. I'm asking you all to do your part. 10 days from now, you have a decision to make. 10 minutes of your time, 30 minutes of your time to save this country. And if you all do your part, Apoorva and I, we're going to do ours to make sure that this is still the country where no matter who you are or where your parents came from or what your skin color is or how long your last name is, that you will get ahead in this country with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication. And that you know what? You are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to. And with your help, that is what we will revive to save this great country. Thank you for coming today, guys. God bless you and your families. And may God bless our United States of America. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. We have time for pictures? Take some pictures? We're going to take some pictures.
Okay, guys, if you want to take photos, it would really help us, since there's a lot of folks, if you'll come to this side and work your way through, have your camera ready. Also, we need your help. All right, we've got staff here.
Yes.
If you could fill out one of these cards, this allows us to stay in contact with you, especially if this is your first time going to caucus. We'll be able to tell you where to caucus, how to caucus, where to be. Additionally, we need precinct captains. If you are willing to speak on behalf of Vivek from your heart, or whether it be a letter from Vivek, it's not intimidating. We just need you to be able to stand up at your precinct. If you're willing to do that, there's a place you can check on this card or talk to our staff. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. He chose a lot of people in his administration
who are hostile to his agenda.
Who ended up stabbing him.
That's right. From John Bolton to Nikki Haley.
You know enough people.
Yes, and we're coming from the outside. That's the number one failure, and we got to learn from it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
There are people behind you.
This is a full apparatus coming from the outside to get this right. You have my commitment on that. And we're well ahead of the curve on this.
We got a group picture.
That's right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys.
3, 2, 1. Nice. 3, 2, 1.
Pray
Thank
for
you.
you daily.
I appreciate that. Thank you, my man.
So,
God's the ultimate protection.
Yep.
But we'll do our part.
yep, Billboard Bob. Remember
That's
that?
right. I remember, of course. Of course.
I
You've
know
been
I
here.
did. I knew you
You
did.
keep spreading the message, Billboard
Yeah,
Bob. I
exactly.
appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hey, man.
Hello.
It's good to see you again. How you doing, brother?
Good.
Good to see you.
Thanks for answering my question.
Thank you for
Appreciate
asking
it.
it, man.
3, 2, 1. Next. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Thank you. Means
Good
a lot,
luck.
man. Thanks a lot. Take care, brother. Good to meet you. And
Yeah.
spread that word. I
Will do.
appreciate it. Take care.
Are people going to be okay with the having
Yeah, I think so. Hey, good
Hi,
to
I'm
see you.
Tara.
Good
Hey,
to see
I
you.
have a question.
Yes.
I'm a teacher. I love hearing your stories about like John Quincy Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice for like resources to find the curriculum doesn't have a lot of
That's a good point.
that stuff.
Let me think about that for a second.
What age do you teach?
Yeah.
3rd and 4th grade.
Ooh, okay. High school.
Yeah.
We're as young parents ourselves. Maybe I will say we're in the market for that together.
Yeah.
Actually, I do think that actually I'm gonna have a weird answer for you. I think some podcasts might actually be pretty interesting. History podcasts are far better than I think otherwise in centralized indoctrination. Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would turn. That's what I would think when I would turn for my kids. No, exactly. I think direct podcasts would be the way to go.
Okay, cool.
If you come to that Iowa caucus, I'd be really
Yeah, I'm
grateful.
precinct
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Spread that word. Bring them out. And I think
Thank
we're going to
you.
dominate this. Yes. Let me sign this real quick. Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, they're going
you
to.
guys work together? I'm her sister.
If you get one for me and come back. Oh, here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for being a precinct captain. No, thank you.
Can my sister take a picture with us?
Thank you.
Thank you.
A precinct captain right here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oops. Thank you. There you go.
How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see
How
you.
are you?
How you doing?
Good.
You doing all right, guys?
Yeah, we got him in phone.
Good to see you, man. How are you?
My husband.
Good to see you. Thank you. How you been, man?
Pretty good.
Good to see you again. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She told me that.
So he was like, wait, no, I do know.
You guys look awesome. 3, 2, 1, action. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
And I gave her a lot more time. So
I appreciate that.
It was good
Spread the
seeing you
message.
again.
Good to see you
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We'll give you a hand down. Thank you.
Familiar.
I know. Yeah. It's good to see you. Come on.
You're so inspiring.
Thank you, man.
So
I
I'm
appreciate it.
37, my mom's 66, and we both love you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. And-
Bring our generation out to the caucus.
Thank you. And thanks for being a pro-vaccine Republican. because I am too.
Go right
Can I
here.
take a picture?
Yes, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. You guys look awesome. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Thank you so much. You're so beautiful and inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much.
Spread the message, brother.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
from Seattle, but I love
Oh, you do? Okay, all
I'm
right.
sorry.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, good to see you, my man. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
A lot of people out to Caucus.
Oh, I love. That's how we win this thing, and we're going to dominate this. Thank you. Thank you.
We got the picture in 3, 2, 1. Action. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Action.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
How's it going? Nice to meet
It's
you.
good to see you, man.
I
Thank
do have
you.
a question for
Yes,
you.
yes,
Do you
absolutely.
drink coffee or do you run on adrenaline?
No coffee.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah.
just purpose. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, purpose fuel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In 3, 2, 1. Perfect. 3, 2, 1. Gotcha.
Yeah, got a coffee,
Thank
guy.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come out to that caucus, man.
All right.
I appreciate it. We're going to do this.
Meet you for so long.
Hey, good to see you. How are you?
I had to come see her because you came.
She's a neurologist.
Yeah,
She's a
here
star.
locally, so I was like, this my whole thing.
I told her we were to come to see you. Yes.
I felt like you were like,
Yeah. My daughter didn't come, but she brought you some
Oh,
drawing.
she did?
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
4-year-old
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
You have
We got
to
to
give it to the day.
Thank you. I want to get that for the bus. That's so cute. Thank you. I enjoyed meeting your husband the other day too.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Picture 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Well, so I'm going to be one of the precincts captains.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. We got you. All right, good.
Be a delegate.
Good, good. I would love that.
I'm independent, but I am becoming Republican because of you guys.
No, thank you. Well, you're a patriot.
Be the right person.
You're a patriot, so we got to do it. Yep. To educate everybody on the
Yes.
2 IDs and everything else.
About the medicine,
We will.
So many of us dying too. That's another thing. Physician suicide.
Is a big deal, actually.
Huge.
Physician suicide.
It's like worse
Yeah.
than veterans. We're
It is. That's actually a good point. Talk about the veteran suicide. I should talk more about physician suicide too. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're
I
here.
was verbally
Hey.
and almost physically attacked by one of your supporters and saying that if I don't have $3,000 to donate to your campaign, then my opinion should have no word, and I should not have the right to.
Well, I can't speak for that person or endorse that. To the contrary, I say give $1 or no dollars. But if you give your voice, that's what this movement's about. So
Just because I
wonder whether
I have a different view of immigration than you do.
Okay, it's allowed.
And my view is more like Brian Binkley's view of
Okay.
immigration.
Okay.
And we had an argument about that, me and one of your supporters, and he said because I am poor and don't have any money to donate to a campaign, and he donates over $3,000, and I should have no.
well, I'm disappointed in that. Is all I will say.
And it
But
tainted my view of you because he's giving you tons of money, saying that
our average
donation is $30. The average donation to this campaign is $30.
Donators.
Yeah.
Most of them are well under $100.
Because I was.
But you know what I need actually? Can I ask for something? A donation from you? Of your time. That's the most valuable donation we can ask for.
I don't even ask for donations.
Time at the Iowa Caucus. The donation of that time. That's what we ask for. And so, we're such a national temperament. We're at a challenged place as a country. And so maybe part of that is understanding that people are in a weird psychic space these days. But it's our job as a leader to lead us forward. And you have my commitment that I will, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry that happened.
I appreciate that. Oh.
Bring it in 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
And we would be honored during your support. So thank you. Take care. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you for being here, guys.
Oh my God. You are phenomenal.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you did. Thank you for being here, guys. Do you live here or do you live there?
We live in Colorado.
You drove all the way?
We did.
Oh, thank you, guys. Come on, take a
and
picture,
I'll tell
guys.
you what, it's crazy in Colorado.
It is.
3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You spread the message.
I will. We just
If
signed
you-
that.
If you would be, if you drove this far, you might even be, if you have a little bit of extra time to volunteer, either to phone bank or with us, we would actually love that.
Okay.
Thank you. That would be really make a big
Very
difference.
nice to meet you. God
Thank you.
bless
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Very inspirational,
see
honestly,
you, my
and,
man. I
and you
appreciate
can feel the movement, man. You're out
Thank
there
you,
talking
man.
to people.
I appreciate
it's,
it.
The polls are wrong.
3, 2, 1. Action.
I think the polls are dead wrong is the answer. So good seeing you, man.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
I mean, you're out there talking to people. People are listening to you.
Thank you,
There's-
brother.
there's-
Where do you live?
There's a back. Cedar Rapids, here.
Spread the message here and bring them out to the caucus. Thank you, man.
You guys, brothers?
Good to see you, brother.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
Hey, come on in.
Oh, all right. Middle?
Yep.
Sweet.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Action. Perfect.
Thank you, man.
Saw
Spread
you
the
on
message.
the PBD podcast.
Thank
and
you,
a lot
man.
of other things. Big fan. Thank you.
Spread the message here. Bring them out to the caucus. We're going to dominate this.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Let's do it.
Appreciate it. Take it
First
easy.
time I've talked to a presidential candidate who's maybe a year younger than me.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Thank you. Good to meet you.
I just want to say thank you guys for making the sacrifice.
Oh, we're going to do this. Thank you, man. Come on in here, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
And 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1.
It's an honor. Is what
Yep,
it is.
yep.
You come to that caucus and bring a bunch of people
I will,
with you.
I will. And
Bring a
just-
bunch of people.
yeah,
We're going to do
I
it.
love that you're doing it for the next generation too. I've got a 2-year-old son myself.
That's
so,
right.
Yep,
Thank you.
just love it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely, I appreciate
I appreciate it. Come on in.
Sure, can I do
Thank
middle?
you. Yes.
Thank you.
Spread the message, and we'll be grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You too. Hey, good to see you,
I'm a
man.
private school administrator, so
Oh, you are? Awesome.
school choice and everything.
Good to see you. You know about
Oh yeah.
some of the things we're talking about.
Yes,
That's
yes.
good. Is this your wife?
Yeah, it's my wife Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. Good to see you. Good to meet you. Thank you for being here, guys.
You guys look great. 3, 2, 1. And action. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
God bless. Pray
Spread
for
the
you, man.
message, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You voted in the caucus before?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome, guys. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. Good to see you, man. Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate it. Right here.
All right. Looking great. 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, brother. Spread the message and come out to that caucus and bring a bunch of people with you. Thank you. Hey, guys. Hey, come on up, guys.
I'm Jeet. I met him already once.
It's good to see you guys. Come on in. It's good to see you, man. Where do you guys live?
North Liberty, Iowa.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you guys.
I saw you in Briggs Residence in
Oh, that's
Des
right.
Moines.
That's right. Come on in, guys. Come on in, guys. Thank you. Good to see you. Hey.
All right. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Come to that
Thank you.
caucus
Yes,
and,
of course.
and bring as many people
Yes,
in the
yes,
community.
yes, of course.
That's how we win
Yes.
this.
Yes. Any words for him to get inspired? Because
Well, look, I would say-
I want him to be motivated in life.
Don't go to where the pack is going.
Yeah.
Go the other way. That's my best advice to you, man.
Thank you.
Unlimited potential if you find it. Thank you. Hi. Good luck. Thank you. Come to the caucus,
Yes,
please.
I am. Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Yes, let's go.
It's good to meet you. Thank you. Wish you the best. Oh, awesome, man.
How are you?
Great. Love this.
So what's your favorite crime? I saw you hanging out with the Paul brothers.
Oh, I'm not like first time I've had it was actually
it?
back then. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you
Spread the
too.
message, and we're gonna
Yes.
do this.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
All
out to
right.
that caucus on
I will.
January 15th.
Will.
Spread that message,
Thank
brother.
you.
Thank you, man. We're going to do this. Thank you, man.
Nice seat code.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I came from a TV interview right here, so.
Wouldn't mind you and the boss lady.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, I guess you have to sign big.
Thank you. I
Hey, if
appreciate
you
it.
wouldn't
Where
mind
do you
as well,
want me?
please.
Yep, that's good. Nice.
And would like a photo with you.
All right, let's do it. Love that. Thank you, man. I appreciate
Thank you
it.
for all the work.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
You're dominant, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you again for treating this with respect, unlike somebody.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. We will at every step. Thank you. Hey, man. How you doing?
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you. How you doing?
Fantastic. One
Thank
of these
you.
days, it'll be the last time I see you. So, thank you so very much for spending so much time in Iowa. You've been phenomenal.
Thank you, man.
And plan on speaking for you on the 15th.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. You
thank
bring
you.
as many people out as you can, and we're going to dominate
I got
this.
5.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
doing
you,
my
man. Thank you. You are. You really are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to get a picture, guys?
Yes, please.
Overs are rare. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1. You guys look great. And underway. Cheers.
Thank you, guys. All the best, guys. Thank you.
Vivek, could I have you sign a couple?
Yes, I will sign one for this. Absolutely. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you're doing, guys.
Thank you.
We're counting on you. Good to see you, man.
Wonderful, wonderful to meet you.
Thank you for being here.
Great. And 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Spread the message, brother.
You got a good taste.
You done the caucus before?
No, first time.
Appreciate that. Make it happen.
Hey, let me run an idea about podcast from the Oval Office.
Oh, we already said that. Instead of fireside chats, we're bringing back podcasts. My podcasts are going to continue once a week. I love that.
Perfect.
Actual transparency. I love it. That's what we're going to do it. Actually, it's a great idea, and I love it.
Don't get scorched by the cold.
Good to see you, man. Thank you, brother. You got to come out.
We will,
Yeah,
for
we
sure.
gotta.
Great. And 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1.
Thank a lot of
so
people.
much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, dude.
It's good to meet you. I'm Shane.
Hey, Shane.
Good
How
to
you
meet
doing,
you.
man? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
It's Caden.
How old are you, man?
Good.
How old are you?
16.
16, tall young man. I love that. What's your name?
Kinsley.
Kinsley. And yourself?
13.
13. Thanks for bringing the kids. I
Yeah,
appreciate
so
that.
I brought them out because I've been watching you, man.
Yeah.
And your morals and what you believe in. I just felt like they needed to see it.
Thank
and
you.
understand it.
Thank
because
you.
they hear me preach at home.
I appreciate that, man.
And we're in such a bad situation.
I think we are.
And we just have to.
But it's going to be your generation that in many ways lifts us by having your sense of purpose. Figure out the gifts God gave you and let's use them. So thank you,
get 'em.
guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Here we go. You guys looking great. In 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Nice. And bonus.
Thank you,
Thanks, man.
Spread the message. Have you done the caucus before?
No, I'm going to.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Spread the message, guys. We're proud of you and rooting for great things. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you for your question. I appreciate that.
I'm
Basic question about
big
the
on
failed drug administration.
pharma.
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1.
Keep up the hard work. We
Thank
need
you. We will. We're going to not stop till we get it done.
All right. Thank you
Have you
so
done the
much.
caucus?
Oh, yeah, in
Good.
Marion.
Awesome. Spread the message.
All right.
I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it, guys.
Good luck.
This is
Thank you.
incredible.
It's good to see you, man.
I'm the Yaley, so I have to ask the
Oh, you
question.
are? That was you. Oh, God. Yeah, that's funny. Apoorva is too. She's a Yaley, too.
What,
Oh, you really?
what school were you in?
Undergrad 01 and MBA 07.
Oh, nice. I was a morsel back in the day, and then I went for
All
middle
right.
school.
Good, good.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. You guys look great.
Awesome.
Spread the
Hey,
message, man. Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
you're phenomenally talented. You're telling people things that like we know, but we can't voice.
Yeah,
It
I
means a
appreciate
lot.
it. Thank you, brother. It means a lot.
Keep
And
doing it.
you spread the message here. If you can get
course.
as many people out to the caucus. You done the
Can
caucus
I-
before?
Can I buy your book? Do you have copies of your book?
I don't
out
think
there?
they sell the book right here now.
All right. Well, I'll get it online.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Come to that caucus. Thank you, brother.
Hi.
Hey, good to see you. Thank you for that question. I
Yeah, thanks
appreciate
for
it. Thank you.
answering it.
Thank you. Made me think,
we got
actually.
2 more of them. They're like,
Thank you. You can bring other people in your generation after the caucus. We'd be grateful for that. It actually would make a difference. It actually make a big difference. Yes, I can do that.
Wow. Congrats, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, it's good to see you. Good to see you, man. Thank you.
How tired are you?
I'm actually not super tired.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, meeting people like you guys gives me energy. I'm serious.
Extrovert, huh?
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I
hey,
appreciate
God bless
it.
you very
Thank
much.
you, man. Take care. and
Yeah. I've
pray
been
for
on
this
you from
country.
day one, man.
Thank you, dude.
So, and I actually invited you to a church service here in Cedar
you
Rapids.
did?
I sent you a DM and you replied to me.
Oh, awesome. This is going way back. Okay, got it.
Yeah, initially.
Well, we
so.
would love to, if there's an opportunity presents, but
Yeah.
right now, if you can bring as many people as you can to the caucus,
Oh, yes, sir.
that's
Yeah,
going to make a
yeah.
difference for us. Thank
God
you,
bless
man.
you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
All the best
nice
to you.
seeing you.
Thank you. Nice
It's
to
nice
meet
meeting
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hi, good to meet you. Thank you for being here as a family, guys.
Yes.
Good to see you. Hi. It's good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Dave.
Dave. Hey, good to see you. Should we get a family picture?
Yes.
Let's do it.
It's
Come
our
on in.
family Christmas
Oh
party
my
today.
goodness.
We left it to come here.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's amazing, guys. That's so kind of you. That's so kind of you. We brought the party here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have you done the Iowa Caucus before?
We haven't. We're thinking about going.
We will ask you to do it.
Okay. All right.
It's a huge impact in selecting the next president.
All right. Well, good luck.
We'd love to have your support. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care,
Good to
guys.
meet
Thank
you.
you for
Good
coming.
to meet you.
Thank you, guys. Hey. It's good to see you. What's your name?
Ron.
Ron. Thank you for coming out.
3 words on the VA stuff.
Thank you.
Retired Air Force.
Oh, you are. Thank you for your service to this country. I appreciate it. Come on in. Let's get a picture, guys.
Get a photo here. Jump over here.
Thank you.
You guys look great. In 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Have you done the Iowa Caucus before?
I have a couple times.
If you do it this time, we'd appreciate it and spread the message.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
What's your name?
Joe.
Joe?
This is my wife, Megan.
Hey, Megan. Good to see you.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, guys.
Great listening to you.
In 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
You done the Iowa Caucus before?
I have, yes.
You have not? Well, bring her out.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you,
gonna do
thank
it.
you,
We were
guys.
talking about it
Spread the
last week,
message,
so-
and we're going to dominate this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're going to
Thanks
send
so
a
much.
shot. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
guys.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Thank you for that question. You made me think in real time as I was answering it.
I wish I
That's good.
could hear her response.
You know, actually, I was thinking Apoorva might actually, when you observe a person and you know them well, you might even give it a better response than of yourself.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And thank you. Spread the message. I appreciate you coming out to the caucus. Thank you, guys. We can go down. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
There you go.
That's hi. How you doing, man? And we know how the stroller nighttime routine goes. Yeah, come on over. What is it? Kids? He's showing me something. Thank you. Oh my God, he's cute.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. You ready, buddy? Hey, bud. What's up? 3, 2, 1. What's up?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Take care.
Yep, have a good night.
Okay, sounds good.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep him.
Apoorva, that's perfect.
It's good to see you, my man. Thank you.
Good to meet. This is my son, John.
Oh, John, come on up.
So-
Come on up, John. Thank you.
I'll take you 7 pictures.
Okay,
do a
perfect.
separate.
Thank you. Come on in.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
right.
Have you done the caucus before?
Yes. I used to run a caucus several
Amazing.
years ago.
Well, if you could
So
spread the message, we
Can we
would
get one
welcome
with
that.
both of us?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
that'd be great. Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we can do both.
We'll get
and
one
then
with
if I
both
can
of
get
us.
both.
Okay.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. You guys looking great. In 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank
I had a
you.
question. It would be about Citizens United and AI and combining
Okay,
that.
wow.
Talking about that, man.
And the super PACs.
And the super PACs.
That's what I'm at. And AI, put the liability on companies.
Yeah.
That way avoids a central regulator, but it forces them to internalize the risks. That's a short answer.
Everybody. I know how you can win blue, red, and purple.
How?
And tipping culture.
Everybody's
confused. I'm tired of it.
Good to see you, man. Spread the message and come out to the caucus. We would appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Still up in Minnesota?
No, I'm in Marion, Iowa. I just
Oh,
love
nice.
Vikings.
Just a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Awesome.
Spread the
you.
message, brother.
Will do. Thanks.
Have you done the caucus?
I signed up to be a precinct captain.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. That means a lot.
Is Ian Crosland as crazy in real life as it seems on Timcast?
He's a good guy.
Okay.
He's a good guy, I would say. Thoughtful, actually.
Hi.
Good to see you, man.
Roberta, a Trump supporter.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
I'm glad you're running.
Thank you.
All right. You guys look great. In 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1.
And we're going to take this agenda to the next level. Bring a lot of your other Trump friends with you.
Yeah, my son was watching to see what I thought of this. He's a Trump supporter too, so I'll get him.
Good. I appreciate that. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Great. Thank you for coming.
Excited to be for the right side.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Come on in, man.
Want to get in the middle?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Action. 3, 2, 1.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate
Thanks a
it.
lot. I
Good luck.
appreciate it. Thank you. Means a lot, man. Thank you. Hi.
My knees
Thank you
are-
for
I know,
being
sorry
here.
for this
Thank
photo
you
that
for
we
being
made.
here.
Oh, no.
my goodness.
3, 2, 1, action. 3, 2, 1. Looking great.
Thank you. We'll just give you. Oh, amazing. Let me just give you a hand here. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, good to see you, man. Oh my gosh. Oh, may I sign the cover?
You may, please.
Okay. You're the man.
Thank
This guy's
you.
going to be a precinct
So
captain.
grateful.
Did you
I
sign
know.
up to be that precinct
You
captain
bet.
earlier?
You bet.
That's
You
awesome.
bet.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate it.
You got the Hawkeye hat next.
Hi, come on.
How are you guys?
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, action. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Are you a Cincinnati Bengal fan?
Yes, I am.
All right.
It's a tough season for that, but thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll see you. The condolences for the Bengals fan I will take. yeah. It was tough. It's tough. Yeah, well, but he did all right, but we got close. Next year. I got to come out to that caucus, man. Oh, hey, good to see you.
And 3, 2, 1, action. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hey, I heard you say something. So what they've told me is that if your driver's license contains your current address, that serves as both.
If you're new, you have to have your license plus proof of address.
See, they said
So
if your
like
license serves as your proof of address,
No, you
is
have
what
to
they
have
were
a
told.
license
Okay.
plus if you're new.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not
no, I understand.
registering, which is like
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
And you have to have a second form of proof of address, like
Yeah.
a light bill,
Yeah,
water
so we
bill,
have,
electric bill.
So we have to confirm that because I think our
Yes.
team has been
That's
said
what
that
I'm trying to
the Secretary of State, maybe it's not Secretary of State says it, but they said that the proof of address
not
the
for
license
caucus.
serves as
not
it.
for new.
Not for new.
No, we just had caucus training yesterday. And they really
For our
pushed that.
campaign.
No, I did it
Oh,
with
okay,
RPI.
good. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So the thing is, most of our supporters are the new ones.
I
The
know.
existing caucus goers, what do you think is going on there with that?
I think RPI is a mess.
Yeah, it really is.
It's disorganized.
Yeah.
They don't know how to present
Right.
what needs to be done. And
Yeah.
it shouldn't be as hard
Yeah.
as they've made it.
Okay.
But
Huh.
all these new people have to have
Yeah.
ID plus another proof of
Yeah, I think we need to, we need to talk about that. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
because
appreciate your
everybody's
message.
not reading that, screen that was up there.
Yeah.
And that's important. I'd hate for them to get there and be disappointed.
Will they be turned away?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll confirm that. They said our understanding was that the ID on your address, if it's current. Okay, all right, thank
If
you.
you're new, you have to
Thank
have
you.
a second proof of
Okay,
address.
okay. Can you talk to Tricia about that? That's actually a very important point, which is different. Yeah, thank you.
That's the best Christmas present.
Oh my gosh, come on in, guys. Thank
got
you.
a puppy for Christmas.
Oh, you did? Hey, congratulations then. Nice to meet
I'm
you.
going to.
Nice to meet you. Come here, guys. Thank you, guys. Spread the message, and we appreciate that. Good to see you, man.
Our journey's coming to an end, and I'm sad.
Well, our journey's coming to a beginning, is the way I look at it.
But
a new beginning.
Journey, you know.
No, I know. But
seeing you months and months.
No,
you
thank
know,
you. I appreciate
I know,
that.
You know,
You'll send us off to the next phase.
I know, but
to
we're
do
gonna
this
miss
job.
You guys.
All right. Picture in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
And we're gonna come
You
back.
know what?
We're gonna come back.
So you guys went up to Dyersville
Yeah.
for the Field of Dreams?
Yeah.
Oh no, we haven't.
Didn't
I,
you?
you've been there.
So,
I wasn't there.
So, go the distance. He had to wake up and tell you, I had this voice in my
Yeah.
head. Go
That's
the
the same
distance.
thing. Go the
what
distance.
does that
That's right.
mean?
Classic.
Go the distance.
I would take that, and we're going to take that to heart and
watch
do
that
it.
with Garth.
That'd be
That's a
fun.
good
That's a
movie.
good one.
All right, take
Thank
care,
you.
man.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We're going to do
God
this.
bless you.
Thank you.
And you too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I am gonna get
Vivek,
Good
pleasure,
to see you.
sir.
Thank you.
I'll tell
Thank
you,
you.
I was at DeSantis about 2 hours, 3 hours ago, and by sitting out here, I already signed the card. That's who I'm copying.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. It means a lot.
I have one question,
Yes.
really quick. I sit and watch this deal with Trump, and they're trying to do this to him.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
this to him. Why do they want him out so?
They're not going to let him get anywhere near the White House again.
I don't think so either.
The system has decided that.
I
That's
know,
the
but
answer.
why?
Well, the answer is they believe that that's their moral duty.
Well,
That's really what that means. And when you believe that's your moral duty, you're going to stop at nothing. That's the
Wow.
answer.
okay.
And if you spread that message to a lot of your,
And 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1.
and if you make sure a lot of the Trump supporters know that, you can bring them along with us too.
I will, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take
Thanks
care.
a lot
Thank you
for all you're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, it's good to see you guys.
Nice to meet you.
It's good to see you guys. Thank you.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, guys.
So tell me, Chris Wray,
Yes.
Bill Barr, how do these people get in, speaking of the rot in the Republican Party, how do these people get into Trump's field of view to get the position?
So I think that there's one of the things I'm going to do differently than, for Nikki Haley, John Bolton, you go straight down the list.
Yeah.
You can't have people sabotaging your own view.
Exactly.
We're going to clean the house, and then actually, once you clear the deck, put in people from the outside who we trust and know. That's the answer.
You have those people?
Yes, we do. We're building it as we speak.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely, guys. That's what it's going to take to get this job done.
Do a picture. You guys look awesome. And 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that, man.
Good luck,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for being here. And have you done the caucus before?
We're actually Canadians, so we can't.
You are. Oh, well, thank you for being
but
here and spread
we
the
wanna
message in the
support you
community.
any way we can.
I
know, I'm
if
like,
you
yes.
spread the message in this community, we would
Yeah, no
appreciate it.
problem.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my husband and I are running our caucus, and all your literature, I pass it out to everyone. I'm trying to convince everyone.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
And
Thank you.
thank
you.
you so much. And
Thank you.
just one of the best things you've said is just encouraging people to speak truth.
That's right.
Speak
It's
truth.
the whole ball game.
It is. It is. No matter.
Speak truth and
what.
do your duty.
Yes,
Yep.
and we, as I told your wife, I pray for you all because I'm
Thank you.
concerned for for y'all and your
Thank you.
family, and we just, yeah. So thank you so
Thank you.
much.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And in a picture in 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1.
Means a lot to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll do our part.
Yeah,
With your help, I think we're
in
going to do
Marion.
this.
I got my 18-year-old granddaughter to register, so she's gonna help us in a caucus, and she'll vote. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Most of us are all doing that, right? You just do what you got to do.
Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you for
Yes.
being here. I
Yes,
appreciate that.
believe
Thank
in
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Spread the message in that community and come out to the caucus.
Have you caucused before? No.
If you do that this time, we'll appreciate
Don't
that.
let the bring your mittens. Don't let the cold get you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mittens, yes.
Okay,
I'm
good.
always overdressed.
That's good. It's going to be 5 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I know.
guys.
Now you're warm. We need you.
3, 2, 1. You guys looking great. 3, 2, 1. One bonus. 3, 2, 1.
Awesome.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much, and it means a lot to me. Thank you. Take care.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.
My name's Luke.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I will take a picture, but I do have a question.